All right, welcome back for some more of Model 1045. One of the things that I didn't like about my first try was that I couldn't get these fillets right, and you notice they're a whole lot prettier now. So what I did is I just went back in and I deleted all of these fillets back to the beginning. I still did these all the same way on this tower, but instead of clicking this face and adding the fillets to everything on that face, it kind of does everything. The computer tries to calculate all those things. So what I did is I just did this vertical fillet right here. And then I kind of went through and put all these other ones in, and it worked a whole lot better. But I got stuck again when I tried to do other things. So I found out that it's helpful to do all of these vertical fillets between this one and this one. So I did that one, and then the next one I did was back here. And that's the one that I just did, was those two. You can kind of roll the timeline forward, and I did all of these. So I started doing all the vertical fillets, and then I went in and started adding some of these horizontal ones, some more horizontal, and it turns out that when I did all these horizontal ones, after I did the vertical ones, nothing freaked out and threw a fit. So I got my fillets a lot neater by doing this triangular one, like I showed you. I did these kind of vertical ones first, and then I did the top, and then I did all the other vertical ones. So that was a huge help. The next thing that I worked on was getting the drawings better. So we'll go ahead and start this drawing from design and hit OK. I changed up the way that I positioned the drawings. It's just not going to work the way that they have theirs in the example. So we'll still do our northeast shaded for our first one. But theirs has got all the fillets, and right now our tangent edges are off. So if I hit OK, and that goes in there, you can kind of see that a lot of these are just smooth, and there's no edges. So we can click on full length fillets, and that adds in where all those fillets are. The next thing we can do, click on our base view. We'll put it in. We'll put in the top view. We'll stick it right here. And I was doing it right the first time. I just wasn't patient enough. When you click rotate, you have to select the object, and then come up here to tell it to transform. I did the center as my base point, and then I wanted to rotate this way, but whenever I'm over here, it sees that as 0 degrees. So I just kind of had to keep rotating around, and I had to pause for a second to let my graphics card catch up. And that's the orientation that I want. So I'll click and put it there. And then once it's placed, you can kind of click and drag it wherever you want to. The problem that I have now is that I'm missing a couple of these circles on the original drawing. The original PDF has got several more. Let me go half screen now. On the original PDF, if I look at this top view, you can see I've got all sorts of circles, and then on mine, I'm missing a bunch. And the problem is that on these fillets, this is the top flat edge. This is rounded over, and then it meets the other fillet the other way. So there's no vertical face, so Fusion doesn't see that as an edge. It sees this as an edge, and we'll draw it in, but it doesn't see that as an edge. So when we're looking at this drawing, we're missing some circles. So what we have to do is look here. This one is my original base view, and this is my next base view. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to the sketch folder. I'm going to turn sketches on, and I'm going to turn on sketch number 1. And when I do that, it adds in that circle. That's the one that's filleted on the top and the bottom, so it's really smooth and disappears. And then same thing right here. And this is the top, and bottom of those circles that get filleted as well. And they kind of disappeared on the original drawing. If I take those away, you can see I've got the chamfered top of the hole, but I don't have the top or the bottom of the hole because it gets all filleted together and it's all nice and smooth. So when I turn on this sketch, it does not only the body, but it also adds in the sketch. So you can see I've got my straight lines here that eventually I filleted out later on, but we're just going to have to leave those in. So I think that was the biggest problems we had. A lot of folks were having problems as they click dimensions. They're having problems getting the radius there as they kind of move their mouse. It doesn't lock on to that radius, except every now and then you kind of get lucky. All you need to do is zoom in a lot closer, and then that should help put in your fillets. If you're not getting millimeters, you can come up here to document settings and make sure that this is checked. Change units. You want this box to be display units. And I found as I'm trying to squeeze all these dimensions in, these numbers were just getting too big. So I changed my text height down to 2.5 millimeters. And if you want to, you can, no, this is low, it's going to go. So when I made these a little bit smaller, it was a little bit easier to stick things in. Okay. And then with that, you can keep adding in more base views. So this time, oh no, this is where I want to do the, so sorry. That's the front view, the right view. We can put down here and say okay. And that's got hidden edges. And in their drawing, they don't have that. So we can go ahead and just do visible edges. Now, once again, it's kind of missing that vertical line. That came from an extrusion, so I can't do the same trick here where I turn on sketches. That's not going to help us out. It's going to put those lines in. And here just puts way too many lines in, so I don't think that's helpful. So we just can roll with that one. The sketch up here will be the A to A section. The one over here will be the B to B section. So I can do that real quick. Let me put the center marks in my circles. And then I can do the center line. Go from this edge to this edge. Get out of the center line tool, and then I want to extend it. Make sure it extends all the way past my body. And then once I've got that large arrow, I can do the section view. And we go from this point to this point. Hit the check mark. And then I can come up here. And that's my section view. Okay. Theirs doesn't have this shaded, or doesn't have hatch marks in it, but I think that's wrong. If this AA is going through the center, like they're right here, then that should go through that centerpiece, and that centerpiece is most definitely solid. So I don't know why on theirs it's not showing up with hash marks. It absolutely should. So I'm good with this. That's our AA drawing. I can do the center line. Same thing, I'm going to pick one edge, then another edge, and it does the line. I'll hit the escape key on my keyboard to get out of that tool. And then I will select that and just make sure it goes a little bit further. The line's got to go all the way through the model for the cross section. So then I can grab, and this is my parent view, and grab those two edges of the line and hit the green check mark. And then over here will be my other view. So those are, I've got these two cross-section views, right here, AA and BB. I've also got the top view. I've got this side view, so I need this front view. So we'll put our last base view in, and we'll just go ahead. I'm going to put it down here so it kind of matches up with this one. And I'll stick it right there. There's not a ton of dimensions on that one. And say OK. And the same thing, I just want to do, they did only visible edges, so I'll match that. There's only a couple of those in there as well. So you can kind of move, I can kind of move these up a little bit to give me some more room here. But you want to try to have your views lined up as close as you can. The only thing that I saw that I did really different on this sketch, everywhere they've got all of the fillets as being 1.5 millimeters, but all of a sudden right here at the base of this thing, they say it's 1. So I don't know if that means just, and they're drawing so terrible, I don't know if that is just 1 or whatever else it is. I just left that as 1.5, the same as everything else. And when I redo this drawing like this, that 1's going to go away. So if you did it 1.5, that's great. If you leave it as, if you did it as 1, that's great. If you want to change it to 1.5, you can do that as well. So except for doing all the details, I'm not going to go through and put every dimension on here. Some of these are a little tricky. You can put the center lines and there and here for those. I know this edge was a little bit hard, so I'm going to get the 20 right there from this edge to the, I think it's the top. No, it wasn't the top. I remember it was 30. So the biggest problem is that this is so small, it's hard to get what you want. So I just zoom in really big to get what I want. That's 30. And I remember from here to the very top is 33. So once again, I want to grab that edge. So just a lot of zooming in to get specifically what I want. And I think they had another one where they had this diameter. And I'm going to place that, but I'm going to grab this 10 and kind of move it down here where I want it. And this just has a 10 millimeter. If you want to add a diameter to that, you can double click the 10 millimeters. And then I just use the arrow keys on my keyboard to get the cursor right there at the front. Insert, I double clicked to get that editable field. And then I click on the insert symbol, and that's the diameter symbol. And close, so I can get the 10 millimeters like they've got on here. So they got the diameter 10, the 20, the 30, and the 33. So I've got the diameter of 10, the 20, the 30, and the 33. And then same thing, you can zoom in to get these chamfers. Try to put them out of the way. There's one here at the bottom that they've got marked as well. It's going to put them where it wants to, and I just spent a little bit of time clicking on them and then driving that gray rectangle to kind of get them out of the way a little bit. You can add in a little text box right here. Zoom in on that edge and come up, and that's where you can type in capital R 1.5 millimeters. TYP means typical. So if there's a fillet that's not labeled, you can assume that it's 1.5 millimeters. They've also got this diameter of 30. So we'll go ahead and finish putting that in. I'm going to grab this side and that side. And once again, it gives me just a plain old 30. It doesn't give me a diameter of 30. So I'm still in the dimension tool. I'll have the escape key on my keyboard to get out of that. And then double that. Thought I wanted the whole drawing. So it kind of highlights what you're on. I'm going to double click that and then put my cursor Sometimes you have to use the arrow keys on my keyboard. Got the cursor at the front, and same trick, insert that diameter symbol and hit close. So now it says diameter 30. So I've got all these. I got to do that little 1mm chamfer on here. So I'll grab the dimension tool. And once again, I'm zooming in super far. I'm going to try to put this somewhere where it doesn't overlap something else. 1.5, I need this 10 back here. So on mine, since it's got the hatch marks all the way through, I can't do the 10 on this side. So I need to do the 10 on that side. And I'm talking about this thickness 10 right here. I've already got that 10 diameter there. So let's see if I can't, when we get out of the dimension tool, let's see if I can't move this over a little bit. I'm going to click on these gray boxes and move it over there. And now it's kind of on top of that one, so I'm going to click it again and move it a little bit more towards the back. So that's a diameter 10 for that. And then now I should have room to kind of squeeze in that from this edge to that edge. And once again, it's going to put it on top of something. So I'm going to line up the arrows where I want them. And then I'm going to hit the escape key, grab that 10 and grab this gray box and put the number over here. So it's a very, very busy drawing, the same way it is over here. I can come in here. We'll just finish this. We'll finish this top one out, and then I'll stop the video so it's not going forever. I want you to give the best shot you can of getting all the dimensions in there, but getting every last dimension is not going to kill your grade. I'll take a point or two off here or there if you're missing one, but don't. So that says 20, and it says it should be 18. So I might have this wrong in my model. So let me go. Let me double check the drawing. Certainly looks like that inner side. Inside is 18 on this tall one. So let me go back and check my model. Let me go back to my sketches. That's 30, this is 20. So the inside of that needs to be 18. So this is where Fusion is nice. After all those hours of work, I can just type in 18. It'll change that. I finished that sketch. I'm going to kind of go back. And everything else, it doesn't throw a fit. I can save that. Now that that diameter is 18. And once this updates to 16, I can come over here. It tells me this is new, and instead of this being 20, when I update my drawing, really hope that changes to 18. There you go. And once again, I can double click on this and put my cursor at the front using my keyboard arrows, and then put the diameter symbol in front of there. That way it matches the 18. So I got the diameter 18, I got the 1, the 85, and the 1mm. So I think as busy as that drawing is, I think that I've got everything off of that drawing. So with that, you should be able to kind of continue using those steps to get all the other dimensions. Big thing is to add these sketch lines in. I had to turn on sketches and then specifically turned on sketch 1. I changed my text height from 3.5 to 2.5 millimeters, just so I can squeeze all these things in. And then the only thing that I purposely changed was on this drawing. It says that that's a radius of 1 whereas every other fillet on this thing is 1.5. So I just made them all 1.5. I don't know why. And sometimes that's just the way they want it. I could come back into here, find that one fillet right there, and maybe I missed it right there. So I'll just go ahead and do it. I'll hit the fill command. Grab that line. We'll grab the other one. And we'll make those 1mm fillets. We'll play by the rules that the drawing said to. So now that's a 1mm fillet. I'll save it. And then I can come back in here to my drawing once this updates to 17. I can update my drawing. And then now when I come in here, so in this BB section, if I try to grab that fillet in there, it's so tiny, I can't grab it. I've got to zoom in a mile, and now I can put in that single 1mm fillet. I think the rest of the dimensions are doable. I don't think there's any others. They're too difficult. I can put in this 12 and do the same trick I did editing that to put the diameter symbol. I can grab both of these for the 1mm chamfers on the both sides of that. And then I've got the R1. They put it down here. So let me do that too. I'm going to try to put the dimensions as close as you can on both drawings so it's easier on your teacher to grade. Thank you very much. Okay, so I got that one done. And then the last part would be to get these two. So if you want to stop watching the video, you certainly can, but I might as well. I've got 3 of the 5 done. So let's go ahead and just finish it. Okay, so we got this one right here. So I'll grab that. Zooming in for that 1.5. That for the 14. Oh, I can't do that 70. Well, maybe I can. Nope. It comes out further, but this is where it hits that fillet. It kind of fillets out and then fillets out again this way, and I don't have a line right there. So I won't be able to do that line. This one, if I turn on the sketches, sketch 1 doesn't help. I don't know if that's helpful or more difficult. It kind of gives me that diameter. And this is the flange, this is the inside of the circle, and then this is the rest of it. I think this distance of 70 is the same as this 35. So that they've got it in 2 places. We'll just leave it right there as the 35. And then this 10mm thickness should be easy. We can place that right there. So that's everything except for the 70. And then we'll come over to this one. You're killing me, Smalls. There's it shows that there's a radius of 1.5 along the bottom. And when you zoom in, I couldn't see the bottom. So go back to my model one more time. Hopefully this should just all happen in one fillet. as long as we're lucky. Now I'm going to flip it over, look at the bottom side, grab the fillet tool. That edge should be continuous, so we'll go 1.5 and put it in there. Once again, save this, wait till it updates to 18. Come back here and I'll update my drawing. And now you can see I've got that curve. I'm kind of running into my title block over here. So I'm going to slide this over to the side a little bit. Getting a little close over here, but we'll have to live with it. Grab the dimension tool. Grab that bottom radius. Make sure it doesn't hit my title block. What else you want on here? Just the 7 and 10 for the thickness. So that should be okay. I'm going to put it right there. We grab the 7. I'll have the arrows where I want them, and then I can hit the escape key, grab the gray block. I'm actually going to slide these over a little bit so it's more in the middle. There you go. Well, if I missed something, let me know. Otherwise, I think we got it. I turned on the edges so we can see all the fillets on there. We'll save this. Model B, we'll call this drawing B. This is the second time I had to do this one, so we'll save that. You can output this as your PDF. And that should be our cat. Ooh. I'm not sure why it threw a fit. Okay. We'll save that and we should be good to go. If you have any questions, send me an email. Otherwise, good luck. Thank you.